There are many PR stories and mine is just one of many. Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about my PR story and also what I think you should know before you get into PR and what you should probably do before you get into PR. So it all started when I was born in 1992. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that to you. I'm going to give you a couple of seconds of a brief overview of what people think PR means / what it really is, and I'll give it to you in a language that you'll probably understand best. So I'll tell you a bit about how I started working in PR, and then we'll get to the things that you need to know before you go into PR. So I have always been interested in writing and just in general the power of media, the power of social media, the power of images that you see, that we see in the press. So once I graduated and I came back into my hometown, I live in Miami, I was working with a magazine, but I wasn't able to work full-time with that magazine. So the editor, which is actually a really close friend of mine, connected me with one of her friends who was seeking a PR intern. At that time, I was really looking for paid opportunities, but I couldn't find one. And eventually I did intern with her and I did get hired full-time. It was an agency role and we worked with a lot of different clients. So we had like a perfume client, we had the Miami International Film Festival, we had a ton of different varieties of clients. So that was great. I stayed there for about a year and then I moved on because I wanted to explore sort of different opportunities and I wanted to have a little bit more flexibility with my career. So I wanted to do some freelance writing and I also wanted to explore more in PR. I was very open with my boss and I told her, you know, what my career goals were, and she actually helped me out because she connected me to somebody else who was looking for someone to work part-time in PR, and that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted a part-time job where I could also do my freelance writing and I could also do my personal projects. And so I worked part-time with that person and eventually also went into full-time. And then from that agency I moved on to another agency, which is the agency that I'm working with now. I've been here for 3 years. I am beyond blessed to work with my boss. I love her, really appreciate the job that I have, and I've learned so much and I wanted to be able to share with you because I know a lot of you are here for specifically for PR information. So that's how I got my current job right now, working in PR. So I would say if you could take anything from that, is take whatever opportunity comes, because I just sort of took the opportunity that came and it ended up resulting in great opportunities in the future. And just be very honest with what your career goals are with the people that you're talking to, especially when you're entry level, because there's so much, you know, there's so much room to grow and move around and sort of explore what you want to do. We'll move on to what it is you need to know before you go into PR. So there's a lot. I think that people think that there's a bigger focus on relationships and events in PR. And while relationships are important and you will get to go to events, and but that's not the majority of the work. I think the majority of the work is definitely writing. So you have to make sure that you like writing. In a day I could write a media alert, a pitch, I could write a strategy. So make sure that you are comfortable with writing. You want to be comfortable enough where you want to have the willingness to learn how to write and how to write quickly and how to write informatively. So it's a different kind of audience. So for press, you have to be more informative. You cannot add so much embellishment to your press releases because they're just going to overlook that. And journalists don't want you to tell them what to think about your client. They want you to give them information. And so you want to make sure that that information is obviously portrayed in a positive light, but is also as informative as it can be without it being too subjective. You're gonna have to do a lot of writing in PR. So if you're not somebody that doesn't like writing, maybe you want to hone in that skill, or you want to reconsider maybe a different side of the industry. In-house versus agency PR, there's two different types. So when you work in-house, you're actually working within a company, within the PR department or marketing department of that company. And then when you work in an agency, you work with clients. So you have different clients and you sort of cater to their needs. It's a little bit more structured. You have certain hours that you can devote to a specific client. In my opinion, agencies can be a lot more fun because you get to dip your toes into like all types of different industries. You know, you could do lifestyle, beauty, real estate. Within the field, you could also look for specific industries that you like. So I know there's agencies that do that focus on real estate PR, or there's some that focus on beauty. So if you have a specific interest, then I would definitely search for that in the PR agency. If you don't and you just want to get a general idea of what it is, then having the ability to dip your toes into all the different kinds of accounts will really help you see what you like and don't like. You could also go into government public affairs, government PR. So there's different ways that you could get into PR. Another thing I wanted to mention is that influencers have significantly changed the landscape of what PR and digital media looks like. So prior to influencers or the rise of social media, we had traditional PR, traditional TV placements, traditional magazine placements. And the good thing about PR is that it's earned media. It's not advertising, so you're not really paying for your media. You're paying an agency or somebody else to sell your product to a writer, or to give that information to the writer so that the writer can write about it, see if they're interested in covering it. That means it's editorial, which means it's a more organic way to get the audience or the reader to connect with your brand. Think about a time that you were at the doctor's office and you picked up a magazine and you saw an editor's picks, which is a spread that has all of the editor's picks for the season. So let's say you wanted that editor to cover your brand's new summer lipstick, and you pitched it and the editor loved it, and summer lipstick is now on there. So the readers of that magazine are going to truly trust the editor, give them what they, what they really believe in, a product that they really like. Fast forward to a couple of years, now we have magazines and digital media. Digital media moves a lot faster. So now you're at the doctor's office and you're probably on Instagram looking at your favorite influencers accounts. Things have become so much faster in digital media. I think influencers have the same function as editors did a while back, and probably as editors do now. A lot of editors are sort of forced to become influencers now. We're forced to occupy a digital space simply because that is just what's happening in the world. So an influencer these days would also act as an editor because they have their own audience and they're sharing with you or with their audience hopefully a product that they love, that they trust in, and that they believe in. That's why it's so necessary for PR professionals to integrate influencer strategies into their own PR strategies, and that is a whole other topic in itself because there's a lot of gray area, not that much software that can tell you how much ROI you're actually getting from these influencers. So it's a little bit tricky to explain that to clients, and it takes a little bit more of educating to explain that to your client, especially if you're in an agency. I don't want to take up too much time talking about influencers. If you did want me to make a video specifically on influencers / marketing strategy, please let me know in the comments below. But what I did want to say is that it's always helpful to have a social media presence if you want to go into PR. So whatever you want to do that deals with communications, it's always helpful to have your own brand or your own voice out there, or something to show for what you're doing. I don't want to focus on brands, but if you have a creative vision, I would just say launch it on a platform where it's visible and where you can share your ideas creatively. It's ultimately going to help you because you're going to be able to develop your own audience as well. I wanted to briefly discuss salary because I saw somebody comment on that. I know that salary for entry-level PR varies depending on the state that you're in. So in New York, New York and California, I know pays higher wages for PR. I know that Miami is a little bit lower, but there's also so much more opportunity in bigger cities like New York and California to get into PR. Although Miami does have a really great PR industry, there are so many more companies in New York and in California, and there's so many different specialties that you could go into. Like if you wanted to go into influencer marketing, I think there's more of an opportunity to do that in California, for example. Go into technology, there's more of a space to do that in New York. So in terms of salary, that's all I could tell you, that it varies within different states. I got another comment saying something about the person didn't know yet what she wants to do with her career, with her life. And I just want to say that's totally normal. There's people that are 50 years old and don't yet know what they want to do with their lives. It's almost like when you ask somebody who's really old, what do you want to do? What do you want to be when you grow up? I think that the question of purpose doesn't ever stop coming up. It can change. The way that you execute your purpose can change. You might have different interests later on in life. I think that the worst thing you could do is put pressure on yourself to think that you have to figure it all out and to have like this set game plan for the future. We have no control over the future. I know we like to think that way, but we don't. You never know what's going to happen, so you can have a plan and it can work out, but be flexible with your plan and be willing to work with other factors that are inevitably going to come up because it's life. So one advice I could give you if you don't know what you want to do, just think about what you don't want to do. It always helped me because I've always known what my interests are, but I haven't known exactly where to place them or what it is I want to do. I just do a lot of different things and see kind of what works, but I know what I don't want to do. If you think about that, like if you don't want to work in corporate and you eventually want to have your own business, if you're more of an entrepreneurial person and you know that, then you make decisions based on that. So think about what's going to get you there and sort of move forward in that way. If you do want to work in corporate and you don't want to worry about having your own business or having to pay other people, you know, worry about other people's salary, then you know that obviously would want to apply to larger companies that are going to pay you more. Also, if you know certain characteristics about yourself, that's also really going to help you when you're thinking about your career. Like, do you like writing? Are you a people person? Are you extroverted? Are you introverted? Do you like to draw? Do you like to sell things? Do you have a knack for selling things? So with all of that said, I hope this video was informative. I hope it helped you, and I hope it de-stressed you a little bit. If you're feeling overwhelmed, that you feel a little bit less overwhelmed knowing that not everybody knows what they want to do with their lives, even at the end of their lives. I also have 2 different PR videos on my channel. So one of them is about what I do in a day working in PR, and another one is about I take you to a TV shoot with me and I sort of explain the process. So I hope you watch those. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your time and I don't take it for granted, and I'm so happy that you're here and we can be able to build this community together, and I hope to see you soon.